Okay, so it's now 11 o'clock. Welcome to the March 31st, 2020 work session of the Washington County Board of Commissioners. And since we have some members in physical attendance and some participating over the telephone, I've asked our recorder, Kathy Jacoby, to please call the roll.
Okay, seated at the table, we have Jerry Linder, Alan Rapplier, and Steve Rhodes, Chair Harrington, Commissioner Scouten, and Commissioner Willie. On the phone, we have Commissioner Treese and Commissioner Rogers. Are you on?
Here. Yep, I'm here.
Great. And the first item on the agenda is board and leadership communication. Who would like to go first? How about on the phone first? Pam, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Certainly. Thank you for being there, and I'm sorry I'm not with you this morning. I do want to share that tomorrow night we are having our second Zoom meeting for the Get Moving 2020 group. The purpose of the meeting tomorrow night is to gain information from other bond measures that have passed, to learn about oversight committees, and to just have panelist discussions about what the experience is like, so that our task force is best prepared to understand what the next steps into the future will be. We will also be setting the stage for an understanding, as I mentioned at our meeting last week, that it may not be referred at the end of May, and that's just referred. We have up until August to refer, but we are taking prudent steps to make sure that we are aware of what our economic conditions are and making the best judgments possible as we move forward. So that's my report, along with the fact that I've been working very hard every day with the team that is looking at the response to our emergency economic situation. So thank you.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Great, thank you. Since we've seen each other last, or at least from last Tuesday, been dealing, thank you, Chris Deffenbeck, for her work as well, with the tolling issues in regard to 205 and how we might approach that. Spent a good deal of time in a telephone conversation on how that's all going to look and play out. And I had a corresponding call much on the same issue about the ACT meeting. We've canceled that due to the Rye virus, and decided that trying to do it with about 20 people plus staff is not going to work on the phone. So we're going to defer that until June. So that's the update on that. We have a meeting tomorrow on, and Pam, you probably have gotten the notice as well in regard to our normal monthly meeting at Work Systems. That's all going to be telephonic, again, due to the issues that we have. I will be there this afternoon. I got some message that they might have some issues there in terms of folks not feeling well, so I'm being very protective.
No issues here that I know of. There's something I need to know about?
Pam, you sent out a note. Did you want to say that publicly, or what?
I'm fine with saying that our situation in our household is that one of the members of our household has had contact once removed with somebody that has the virus now. So I'm just trying to protect the safety and my concern for others. That's why I'm here. But I am in contact with everybody all the time.
Yeah, we all have a right, irrespective of any exposure or not, to follow telework. So there's the Board of Commissioners is fully enabled to have all 5 of us calling in from home. We don't have a requirement to have any of us be physically in the room, so it may vary from week to week.
I would also add, for those who got a message from Bill Gaffey, and you all remember Bill, they're kind of staying close to home. Apparently his wife's workout exercise buddy is been in contact with somebody who has COVID, and they got it from somebody, an employee at the gym. So he's okay, she's okay. They're not having any issues, but he's just let me know that and saying hello.
Okay. This is County Commissioner Dick Scouten. Not too much to report. There's a second special meeting, I guess, of the Regional Disaster Preparedness Organization that starts at 6. So I can catch the first part of that on Zoom, I think it is, but obviously that would conflict with our board meeting at 6:30. So I'm going to touch with the staff and see if Mr. Walker or someone else will be able to cover that meeting on my behalf or the county's behalf. That conflict will only come up on fourth Tuesdays, but I think the plan is for the Regional Disaster Preparedness Organization's policy group to meet every Tuesday at telephonically or by Zoom at 6 o'clock. Shouldn't be a problem except on these fourth Tuesdays, so I'll follow up with staff on that one. Other than that, not too much to report. I don't know anyone that, fortunately, that has the virus at this point. Now maybe Pam Treese is, hopefully that's not the case, Pam, Commissioner Treese. But that aside, I'm thankfully we're all safe and no one I know has been in contact up to this point. So I hope that I'd like to continue to come at least once a week to the county public service building for the board meetings, but we'll do whatever, circumstances require. So it's good to know we have good backup. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I was pleased to be able to visit the EOC last week with Marnie. Thank you, Marnie, wherever you are, for orchestrating that. It was very helpful for me to see, I think, how that our Emergency Operations Center functions and how it is handling the social distancing as well as the myriad of different problems. So it was very educational and interesting for me. So if you haven't done that, I would encourage you to reach out to Marnie and see about that. Of course, there is a toll that you have to take cookies or donuts or something like that. So we complied with that. I may even try my hand with some chocolate chip cookies over the weekend, but I have to taste those first. I don't know how good of a cook I am. I'm also working with another organization, not county related, it's Hillsboro Community Foundation, because they have received $100,000 from Intel to be distributed to families in need. And so we have identified what the priorities of where that money should go. The Community Foundation can't deliver checks specifically to individual families, so we have to reach out and partner up with other organizations such as Virginia Garcia and possibly some others. So we identified for those today as a matter of fact, as we speak, I think at 11 o'clock, they are having a executive board meeting to figure out who they're going to choose and how that's going to be distributed. But it's interesting that there are other organizations and private sector that have indicated that they would like to throw some matching funds in there. So we're hoping that that fund will double or triple and be put to use with our families that are obviously struggling with either healthcare needs or rent or food or whatever it is. So I'll find out more about that later today. That was really interesting. And then, as we go through this period of time in our life where this is totally new and every day is a new day, I went to Costco this last weekend and bought patio furniture, and because we've been wanting some patio furniture, so they come in humongous big boxes, of course. So I get them all home, load them into the garage, and I'm looking at them, and down at the bottom it says "Made in China," and I think, okay, that's probably going to require some special handling. So now I've gotten information of I have to go out and I have to sanitize the boxes, and when I put the furniture together, I'll have to have gloves on and sanitize that. So it's just a whole different mindset of what I thought. You know, this assembly stuff is challenging as it is, and then you put all the sanitation in on top of that. It's very different. So anyway, we're definitely in different times, but I think we're doing, as a commission, I think we're doing a good job of handling that. So, and the staff especially, thank you.
And of course, now it's kind of gotten reversed. They are at the getting on the backside of the bell curve and are very concerned about getting stuff from us because we're now the epicenter for all this. And yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. I have to say, I've never been on as many conference calls as I have been on over the last week or two. And a lot of communication with other elected officials all throughout our region and our state to ensure that folks know that our Washington County Emergency Operations staff is really working hard to make sure that we are responding to this crisis and how we're going about it and communicating. I've never recorded so many public service announcements in the course of 2 weeks before. It's just been a very unique experience, but I'll say a very positive one at the same time. I'm really proud of how we as commissioners have been provided with really top-notch public health informed information so that we can go about our decision-making having the benefit of that. And we're trying to practice the art of the possible in terms of meeting our community needs. We'll be hearing from our government relations folks. Part of what we've had the opportunity to come up to speed on is not only the federal response with the multiple economic COVID response funding packages, and Senator Merkley particularly is having a round of conference calls with elected officials